Welcome to another edition of Whiskey, Games, and Nerd Stuff. Today's whiskey is we're going to try and either finish off the High West Whiskey, Double Rye, and briefly discuss about some comic books I picked up the other day, The Last Starfighter. This whiskey is so good. So, Last Starfighter was actually a movie that came out in the early 80s. I want to say it came out in 84. And for those that haven't seen it, basically the premise was there's this high school kid who plays a video game, an old school arcade game, and he gets a high score, beats the game, and then come to find out the actual game was a recruitment tool for an alien civilization to fight in a starfighter. I remember watching it around the time it first came out. It was a good movie, enjoyed it. It's one of those movies I'll watch every couple of years. And it is kind of cheesy, but it's a good cheesy. I enjoy it. I know they've talked about remaking it and having sequels over the years, off and on. I keep hearing rumors. But it's one of those classic movies. Back in the day, you had like The Last Starfighter, Kroll, Enemy Mine, things like that. And I really enjoyed the movie. It's one of those ones that if it's on, I'll kind of go back and watch it and see how the graphics kind of held up. And I just happened to come across these comics by chance, and I didn't even know this was a series back then. So I saw it, and they looked in pretty good shape, and I thought it was kind of cool. So as you can see from the cover, it was a 3-issue limited series, The Last Starfighter, the official comics adaptation of the spectacular new film. The artwork pretty much sums up a lot of the movie. That's the issue number 1. Issue number 2, The Last Starfighter. If I remember right, this is the scene in the movie where he comes back to his homeworld after some events had happened. Issue number 3. Him back in his ship. I'm actually thinking about opening these ones and read them, but I might have to find another set that's a little bit beat up in condition. These ones are actually really good condition, I thought. I mean, if you look at these, again, there's issue number 3. Issue number 2. Issue number 1. For those that know more about comics than I do when it comes to cleaning and pressing them, would love to hear what your comments are if this is something that's worth getting pressed and fixed up to see what it would come in as a grade. If it's something that's a decent grade, this is something definitely that I would get graded and just keep for my personal collection. I do think these are really cool. I'm going to try and find some that are a little beat up and maybe opening them up and read them. Again, I don't even remember this series, so this is one of those ones that slipped through the cracks. Does anybody, and I'd love to hear anybody's comments on if do they remember the movie? Did you have any fond memories of the movie? If so, was there any particular scenes? I know that there were some questions. There was a book that came out called, I want to say it was Armada, that had a similar theme than The Last Starfighter did. I believe it was from the same author who did Ready Player One. But I really did enjoy this movie, and if I remember, I really liked the book, by the way, Ready Player One. That was a fun book to read. But if anybody remembers the movie, would love to hear what your thoughts and comments on it are. Also, if anybody out there knows more details on the rumors, were they going to do a remake? Were they going to do a sequel? Kind of how things are going. I do think they really can do something cool with this. It would be pretty fun. I also would love to hear anybody's comments on, do they remember this comic book? Was it a particular good comic book? Is this something that people remembered was there? Or is this one of those like me where it was completely off the radar until you came across it? As always, I really do appreciate you taking the time to watch these videos. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, all that fun stuff. I'm trying to get a little bit better at these, and as I mentioned in a prior video, we're working on some t-shirts and some other things that'll be pretty cool. And then, of course, upgrading the equipment, and then still have to have that conversation sit down with my friend who's got a ton of graded comic books. So that I'm really excited about that. Again, thank you everybody. Hopefully everybody has good holidays. And until next time, cheers.